I have created twin Wonderkids in Football Manager 26, with the only difference being that one Wonderkid is male and the other Wonderkid is female. Otherwise, everything about them is exactly the same, from their attributes to their height to their personality to their position. We are looking at two identical Wonderkid forwards with a current ability of 104 and a maxed out potential ability of 200. And both players are 16-year-old Filipinos playing for Manchester United. But this also lends to an interesting experiment to see whether or not male and female players develop differently in Football Manager 26. I'm sure at some point both players are going to reach their 200 potential ability, but will one player reach it sooner than the other player? So over the course of their careers, we're going to see how Andrew Wonderkid has a different and or similar career trajectory to Andrea Wonderkid. Again, both players are starting in the same place with the same attributes and the same current ability. Let's simulate one season into the future and see how Andrew and Andrea are doing at 17 years old. All right, we are 1 year into the future, so this is going to give us some insight into the very early development of these players. But after one season, Andrew Wonderkid, or male Wonderkid, is currently 17 years old, and he actually has 7 caps and 3 goals for the Philippines. And he has improved dramatically. I'm actually shocked at how much he's improved. His current ability, we started off with a 104 current ability. Let's just take a look at his current ability now. It's 127. Our male Wonderkid at United is an absolutely massive increase in current ability. And most of these attributes were 10. He's had very good improvement. At least one attribute point, 1 to 2 attribute points for every attribute here, for technical, mental, and physical attributes. Oh wow, he's already made an appearance for Man United in the Premier League. He had 1 appearance. Let's see. Under 18 stats will be a non-competitive here. 27 goals and 10 assists. He was brilliant. And he scored in Asian Cup qualifiers for the Philippines. So a very fast start to the career of Andrew Wonderkid. Andrea Wonderkid here, off to a similar, maybe slightly slower, but still a similar start, I would say. Overall, definitely an increase in attributes, maybe not quite as much. If we look at the current ability, 120, very similar though. I mean, not a huge difference there. So 120 to like 124, I think it was. You can see not quite as good. We're seeing some more 10s and 9s in there. That could be because of an injury. I would normally know where the injury history is. I cannot find that at this moment in time. But it does look like she's played 3 matches in her senior career. So she's got 3 appearances, 2 assists, 6 total appearances, and a goal. Looks like that goal came in the National League Cup here, but non-competitive. I assume this is for the youth team. She had a very good season there, did pretty good in Asian Cup qualifiers as well. So Andrea Wonderkid, over the course of the season, looks like she played some youth matches here, scored a bunch there. She scored in the FA Cup. She even played in the Women's Champions League. That's pretty cool. So overall, pretty similar, maybe slightly less development for our female Wonderkid. She played more matches, but she played less non-competitive matches. So I wonder if slightly less matches in the youth team might have influenced her. She maybe even got into the first team a little bit too soon. But 7 caps, 4 goals for the Philippines, so 1 more goal, but the same number of caps. And overall, relatively similar development. I would say they're pretty on par with each other after 1 season. Well, this is at 17 years old, 1 season into the future. Let's move forward 4 years to when they're going to be 21 years old. That should be at the end of that explosive development period for players in Football Manager. And let's see how they're doing then. All right, we have moved forward to 2030. Our Wonderkids are now 21 years old. And our male Wonderkid, Andrew Wonderkid, he has made a big-time move to Bayern Munich. And it looks like he made the move in the last 2 seasons. 54 million. You had a 200 potential Wonderkid. Arguably one of the greatest Wonderkids of all time. And man, it's so Manchester United. It's so Man United of them to sell him for £54 million. That's such a United thing to do. That being said, he has moved to Bayern Munich. And since moving to Bayern, we're seeing some good stuff here. 13 goals and 20 goals. And this is a player with 110 appearances at the age of 21, 53 total goals, 35 caps, and 35 goals for the Philippines. And he's got some serious milestones about him now in his career. Bundesliga top goal scorer last season, Bundesliga champion, European Golden Boy, Asian International Footballer of the Year, and Young Footballer of the Year as well. And he did not win anything with Man United. So that is everything we've got for him. But looking at the development, this is a world-class player right here. So looking at 21 years old, I don't think he's going to be 200 current ability, but he's probably going to be pretty high. 192 current ability. 192 out of 200. Andrew Wonderkid, what a player. I wasn't expecting him to be this high, but when you look at a forward, 17 finishing, 16 dribbling, good first touch, good heading, 19 jumping reach. He's a very well-rounded player. I wouldn't say he's super spectacular at anything other than maybe that finishing and jumping reach, but a very well-rounded player. You can see why he's so good. He is pretty much almost there. He's also developed some traits as well, including shoots with power, but he is pretty much there. Andrew Wonderkid, 21 years old, 192 current ability. He's pretty much finished his development. He's probably only got a little bit more to go. How does he compare with Andrea Wonderkid? Well, this is interesting. Andrea Wonderkid does not look as good. In fact, she looks significantly less good compared to Andrew Wonderkid. Her attributes, let's look at that current ability, but her attributes are not anywhere near what we were seeing from Andrew Wonderkid. Indeed, her current ability is only 144. She has not had nearly the same development. She is still at United here. Maybe she didn't develop as much, but looking at her career here, she hasn't played many matches. She has half the matches that Andrew Wonderkid did. So I wonder if that's the reason why. 38 caps and 20 goals. She's still doing very well for the Philippines. But looking at her career stats, she hasn't been very good. What's her milestones look like? Has she won anything? If we look at notable, if we go back here, she won the Champions League. She won the Champions League with Man United and the FA Cup in 2026, but since then it's been a relatively barren run. I don't really know what to put this down. I'm a little bit surprised because in that first season she played more matches. But since then, there are less matches in the WSL just by virtue of there being less teams, but she's not even playing, of the matches available, she's not playing that many matches. And it's pretty clear that as a result, you can see her attributes have been affected by that. At 21 years old, she doesn't look great. Well, this is an interesting dichotomy. Very clearly, Andrew Wonderkid has improved massively. Andrea Wonderkid has stalled a little bit. Can Andrea Wonderkid catch up over what should be the prime of her career? I think we move forward now to when both players are in their late 20s, maybe 28, 29 years old. That should encompass the prime of their career. Let's see if Andrea Wonderkid can catch up to Andrew Wonderkid. All right, I've moved forward to 2038. Both of our Wonderkids are now 29 years old. They should be in the prime of their careers. And Andrew Wonderkid looks like a player in the prime of his career. 100 caps and 97 goals for the Philippines, by the way. What an incredible career. But he is at PSG now, which means he's made another big money move. 207 million. He went to PSG for 207 million pounds. What an incredible move. I would be shocked if he's not 199, 200 current ability. He is 200 out of 200 current ability. So he made it. These are the best attributes you're going to see for Mr. Andrew Wonderkid here. His physical attributes are phenomenal. 15 pace, 19 jumping reach, great heading. He has everything you need in four. This is a 200 current ability forward for certain. Also, I just realized he's on 700,000 pounds per week. That is absolutely insane salary. So looking over the course of his career, 367 total appearances, 220 goals. He's been absolutely brilliant. Arguably, you'd expect a 200 current ability player to score more goals, but he's probably gotten a lot of assists to go with it. All right, what has he won? Unsurprisingly, he's won Ligue 1, French Cup, Ligue 1. Ligue 1, winning that with PSG, that's kind of the standard for what you would expect. Did he win another Champions League, though? That's what I'm really curious about. Did he win? I'm not seeing another Champions League in here. Going just to the competition screen, he won it with Bayern, but I don't see him winning it anytime else. My guy has won Champions League. He's got the same as Andrea Wonderkid the last time we saw her. All right, well, this is Andrew Wonderkid. He is at the pinnacle of his career, 200 current ability, performing amazingly well. Kind of what we expected, though. I mean, he had most of his development by the time he was 21. Our question is, did Andrea Wonderkid catch up? Did she fulfill her potential? Well, Andrea Wonderkid looks very good. Let's start off by saying that. I don't know if she looks like a 200 current ability player, though. Looking at her attributes, again, started off the same. Looks very similar. Physical attributes look very similar as to what we saw with Andrew Wonderkid. The mental attributes, though, and the technical attributes, I'm a little bit less sure of. I will say the big thing we're seeing here, Andrea Wonderkid now on Arsenal, 186 appearances, so many less appearances and so many less goals. It took so long for United. I'm just thinking there might just be something wrong with Man United, to be honest with you, because they are not developing Andrea Wonderkid. And the United women's team is much better than the men's team. But it wasn't until the last few seasons where we really saw Andrea Wonderkid break out. Now she's on Arsenal. Looking at her competitions record, she won the FIFA Women's Champions Cup. That's pretty cool. And she's won the WSL. But just the one Champions League for her, too. All right, this is what we want to see, though. Wow, she's on so much less wage. Let's see, what is her current ability? Her current ability is 184. She has a 184, so she's a great player. Don't get me. A 184 current ability. You'd love to see a 184. But it doesn't look like she reached her potential. That is so unfortunate. I was really hoping Andrea Wonderkid would reach her 200 current ability. And I would love to have seen what she would have done. But it just doesn't quite seem she has developed as well as Andrew Wonderkid. I am curious, though. Can Andrea Wonderkid still... I'm going to go 3 years into the future. She's like 184 right now. I just want to see how high she can go. You never know. Maybe in the women's universe in Football Manager, development could still happen, maybe into their 30s. I'm going to go 3 years into the future. Let's move forward to 2041. Let's see what happens. All right, I moved forward 3 years. Andrea Wonderkid, 32 years old now. I don't think she looks like a 200 current ability player. How are we looking current ability wise? 183. She capped out at 183. Man. Well, I think we can see here development is probably relatively similar in the women's game as the men's game. I'm not really surprised to see that. The only difference is I just don't think she got a lot of playing time. I think that's more of a Man United fault than indicative of what we see in game. But all right, 3 years into the future. She's at Arsenal. She's performing very well at Arsenal, to be fair to her. 289 appearances, 160 goals now, so she's doing very well there. She did win another UEFA Women's Champions League, too. So Women's FA Cup runner-up, but they did win the Champions League, and they won the Super League. They almost got the quadruple. So, all right, this is Max Andrea Wonderkid here, doing very well at Arsenal. We'll take a quick look at Andrew Wonderkid as well. He's still at PSG, still looks like a 200 current ability type player. Let's see if he is indeed still. He is still indeed a 200 current ability player. Looking at his career, still just the one Champions League. But 497 appearances, 305 goals. That is the difference. I think that's the difference in the development. The significantly higher number of appearances that Andrew Wonderkid has had throughout his career. That seems to be the difference and why the two have developed separately. All right, well, I think there's just one thing left to do. Let's move forward to the end of each of their careers. The last time when we see both players in game, let's do one final comparison. All right, I've moved forward to 2044. This is the last time I could find both players in game. So Andrea Wonderkid retired after this season. So this will give us a look, too, at how players might decline in both universes here. But we're looking at Andrew Wonderkid. This is his last season at PSG. Over the course of the last 3 seasons, we are still looking at an amazing player. 185 current ability, so he's dropped 15 current ability points in the last few seasons. We can see that reflected in the physical attributes. Pace, strength, and acceleration certainly have gone down. But we are seeing those technical and mental attributes be maintained just as you would expect to see. Looking over the course of his career, he did get one more Champions League win. We like to see that. So He did get one last champion. I saw times two, but I'm not actually seeing where did he win? Where did he win the Champions League? It must be in this 2041 season where we can't really see anything. But over the course of his career, 102 caps, 101 goals, 621 appearances, 377 goals. Yeah, that's a pretty good player. That is an outstanding player. Let's compare to Andrea Wonderkid and her physical attributes. Yeah, you can see she's retiring. Her physical attributes have really waned. Let's see her player attributes here. 154. Wow, so she dropped like 30 attribute points in the last 3 seasons. I feel like maybe that's just because she was worse, though. I feel like that might not be indicative of the men's versus women's game in Football Manager. I feel like maybe just because she was a little worse. Maybe she played less games and her attributes might have gone down because of that. Looking at her career, yeah, they played her in a lot less games over the course of the last season. But 341 appearances and 181 goals. She should have played more. And 4 Women's Champions Leagues. Wow. She was brilliant. 64 awards, 28 competition wins. UEFA Champions League runner-up there. She won the Champions League there. I'll tell you what, she had a great career. I mean, 4 Champions Leagues, numerous Women's Super Leagues. She might not have been quite as good as Andrew Wonderkid, but as far as trophies are concerned, she's had quite a good haul. 98 caps and 79 goals for the Philippines as well. Well, there you have it. That was a male and female twin wonder kids in Football Manager 26, both with fantastic careers. Maybe as far as the individual development is concerned, probably because they played significantly more games, you would give the edge to Andrew Wonderkid. But as far as how they did over the course of their career trophies-wise, Andrea Wonderkid with those 4 Champions Leagues did pretty well. But all right, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this Football Manager experiment. I hope you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves, and I will see you all next time. Bye!